Subs went up. 54% battery, just gonna be here for a quick one. Maybe I'll go buy a beer in an hour whenever my battery's okay. But maybe I won't, because I am so satisfied right now. I've got the same wallpaper on my iPad for about 4 months, so I get to change it. Melissa Rose, Worker of the Year. You know why I got high hopes when I already have my hat on before I start my episode? What are we waiting for? Friday night, 2 games, one in Seattle, one in Atlanta. It's Tennessee versus Atlanta. With the losers of Super Bowl 32 versus the losers of Super Bowl 33. The 98-99. Take a screenshot. Jacksonville in New Orleans to start the New Orleans 4-game home stretch. Photos. I'm missing something. No. There, I changed my home screen. So now I can just have the default stare at next week's schedule with point spreads. Green Bay is 4.5-point underdogs at home. Wait, on the road. Can I say anything correctly? The Colts are 4.5-point underdogs at home versus the Packers. That's the worst odds to win all of the week. That's right. I'm not sitting on a lot. 4 cigarettes. I'm hitting both reds, because the blue one needs to be charged. Baltimore at Dallas. Chargers, Chargers, Rams. Big game. Every single game is NFC versus AFC next week. NFL scores.
Here are the results from the NFL between last Thursday and today.
The Jags and Steelers was AFC versus AFC. Every single game next week is NFC versus AFC. That's rare. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's a historic. Nobody's ever seen that. After 100 years of 16 weeks of football, that's about 1,600 weeks, right? Maybe more. Yeah. Every single game next week is NFC versus AFC. I'm checking standings to count the wins. AFC has 9 winless teams. The NFC has nine winless teams. One tie for each, 2 ties for each conference. The South has no tie. The North has 1 tie. The East has 1 tie. The West had 2 ties. Well, as the King of Prussia. Coming in right after the Raider game, huh? Well, what part of you'll be on Market Street probably. If I see you anywhere, we should. What's the best spot on Market? Third Street, 4th Street, 5th Street, or 6th Street? Narrow it down. I'm going to predict the 5th Street. I'll see. That's on the Powell cable car station. Probably the center of town. You can't see the ferry building from there though. So a view of the ferry building is easy to get to. I'm so satisfied. Raiders are at home. Let's see. Seattle is at home. They just had a tie, so they stay at home. I'll take the Seahawks to beat the winless Chiefs. Where are the Bears at? There's a goddamn Bears game on the schedule. Chicago Bears schedule.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Bears between Sunday and January 4th, 2026.
Bears at home versus Buffalo. It's a game. I'll take I'll take the Bears to beat Buffalo. Why not? Why not? I'll see the King of Prussia walking with his crown. There's a Burger King right there, so they got that. They don't even run out. It's 12:06. I could be buying a beer in 15 minutes. I'll meet you at the Starlight Market. I don't go outside to hang around, but if you're shopping, it's fun to wait in line. Waiting in line is like waiting outside, except you get something. Because I spend so little time outside, an extra 2-minute wait in a line is better than sleeping with some trash cans, The NBA, they shouldn't say shoot. They should. The problem with basketball is they keep saying the word shoot. It is trashy. He's just, the word shoot shouldn't be in sport. Nobody's just shooting anything. You might as well just call it a volley, because volley is we need a new word for shoot. See, I'm not racist, and I don't want to yell about shoot. If shoot is your favorite word, you might be a racist. I'm just saying. Instead of, you might hate goats and you use the word shooter. Like, who's the best shooter? You eliminate that word from your vocabulary. You've never seen anybody shoot a damn thing. I see people throwing a basketball at a hole, okay? They're lobbying. That's right. They're lobbying. You know, you can say dunk. Nobody's gonna call the police. Okay. There's a dunker on the loose. Okay. It's just trashy to be saying shoot so often. Like, they go through crates of ammunition or some shit. Of course, a kid. They'll use the word cannon. He's got a cannon for a leg. And then you'll see like the army guy holding the flag. And then you want to say we lost Vietnam and shit. You be watching that show with my army, be all you can be commercial. You can shoot all that you can shoot. That's like the Jordan was like, nah, I'm just gonna shoot all. Yeah, it's ridiculous that they can't find a vocabulary substitute for shoot. Now, at the end of a Bengals game, our announcer likes to scream coffin nails because, we're lowering this is not a football game, it's a funeral, and we're burying the other team. I mean, that's what Cincinnati's known for. So they like to yell coffin nails every time they get a fucking win. It's a poor man's Schick Hearn refrigerator is getting cold. Okay, coffin nails. Well, guess what? Teddy Bridgewater beat Cincinnati and took the coffin nails down to Louisiana. Down to Kentucky, Louisville Cardinals. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. He beat Cincinnati. He took the coffin nails, and they don't even have any. They can't bury anybody because they don't have the religious wood sealer. And all because the English couldn't learn how to properly seal a barrel. They could steal technology from everybody, but they couldn't seal a barrel. Yeah, I mean, Dan Horde is the guy that always yells. He's usually in the booth with Dave Lapham, and I listen to a lot of Cincinnati games on the radio in Cincinnati because it's what they had there, and the games were blacked out on TV, but I could still listen to the guys that work for the team, not like a Fox Sports. They have their own radio. Did he even produce an episode this week? I stopped watching Dave Lapham in the trenches. Dave Lapham was he played for Donald Trump, okay? And Lapham always likes to yell about this guy named Trumpy. Trumpy was a football player for the Bengals. Totally just a nothing burger of a guy that was on the team way too long. It's a WLWT, First Star Radio Logistics. I don't have access to that broadcasting board. I listened to him on the playoff run. The Bengals are so cheap, they take the bus to Tennessee. Okay. Nobody uses the airport in Cincinnati. It sucks. They probably just take the bus to Indianapolis too. It's 90 miles. They go back and forth to Indianapolis every year. They don't make a big deal about it. They're going again week 3 this year. So the Packers and Colts, then the Bengals and Colts. And to me, the only game I really want to see every year, I love this rivalry of the Colts and Bengals in the preseason. That's probably my favorite game. If I was the commissioner, when you make the schedule, you always want to have the Colts and Bengals in the end of August. So the stupid ass fuckers in Indiana can shut the fuck up if they don't fucking win. Because I ain't listening to nobody from Indiana in here. Nobody in. I welcome viewers, but not from Indiana. Okay. You the projects. They the projects. I don't think the Mormons even stopped there. They went from Ohio to Chicago to Utah. You were top secret. Don't let them people go. The train went to Chicago and it didn't let anybody off. They were like, nobody's getting off. Wait till Chicago to get off this train. We're not here. We're here to take you through Indiana, so there won't be. So we can handpick and choose who gets to be in Indiana. Indiana was a mistake. As a matter of fact, the Bears could have already been down in. If the Colts never went to Indiana, the Bears could have been in Indiana. And then Baltimore would still be where they are. And maybe Tennessee would never have gone to Memphis. Women hate football, okay? I don't. I love football. That's how you know I love football because it lets men hurt each other, okay? I love war. It's about the same thing. You know, all these other civilians, they can't even. They're just too conservative. They're just too conservative. Especially with housing. We should have built, old houses suck. So if we don't have a bunch of old houses, that's good. So we can make a bunch of new houses. But say my house in Altadena was big enough for 2 houses. So putting one house, half of these places in Los Angeles, you got one house on a lot. It's just a waste of time, waste of space. Look, civilians aren't effective at their peacetime. Look at all the civilians in their peacetime. They're jacking off. They're fucking jacking off. And there's more people getting laid in World War II. So the civilians just can't have anything. I'm supposed to mingle with the civilians I'm supposed to demilitarize myself, and I'm looking at like these civilians in America who have nothing except hero worship. And I like my cities. I don't really care about the Bengals. I like Cincinnati. I like Los Angeles. I like San Francisco. I love San Francisco. I fucking hate the football team. You get the two things confused. I do love football. I'm not like, a New York liberal who doesn't watch. I don't like New Yorkers. Heck, I never even see them. I don't know what I know what they sound like. Everybody knows what they sound like, but it's 12:21, 27th minute of my show. We'll look at my statistics. I'll look at my 15 to 86. We're up one sub. The sub counter's two lower than it should be. This episode from 484 to 575. About 90 viewers. So satisfied right now at 94 views in 27 minutes. I just don't want to be like those other shows who play games for 5 hours and can't communicate with a joke. At San Francisco, 49ers are all their hopes and prayers in the running game, CMC, to take the pressure off Purdy. But, they say they can run to the left with Trent Williams in, but, 49ers, you got to run to the right. You have to run both ways. So I don't know how one Trent Williams is gonna be a first down machine. They say he is the running game. This guy is the running game. He doesn't even touch the ball. They're like, man, he must have serious problems. The 49er fans are just being told, yeah, Trent Williams got it. Yeah, Trent Williams. And everybody's like, okay. Yeah, they told us that 3 years ago. David Lombardi not posting the Boombox video with the N-word. I'm disappointed with you, Dave. I listened to a 1920s radio report today about how advertisers were reading their fan mail, and they play two types of musical, classical and jazz, and they divide it down to the minute where they're playing an equal number of minutes of classical and jazz, because you have to keep everybody happy. With media is to keep everybody happy. That's why I love my enemies. I love their training. I love their schooling. I love their little kids running their little obstacle courses, and where's that? Syria. Watching them kids at Syria go to school. That's good. That little kids look tougher than America. I respect their little kids. They're advanced. Americans don't want to have advancement in they want to keep their kids retarded. That's what they do. And now, by playing sports, you have to devote 150 hours a day towards your 11-year-old, or he won't have a chance. And all the gig is out. The gig is out. Military school is the best school. Everybody was always threatening you. Oh, we'll say this far away. You don't usually ever come back. In the military, it costs a lot. It costs your entire family. Yeah. So you don't have to. Don't say I didn't pay a lot. I had to lose my entire family to join. Some people you'll find out their family lives close to base, and it's a big ha ha. It's on ha ha. They do. It's harder. It's harder because you're further from your family, but you can't tell them formation. Correct, you know. For 4 years, somebody's gonna make sure you like. I don't think you should finish your 4 years. I mean, I was there to finish my 4 years. I did 2 years, 9 months, and 5 days, 995 days. Okay. I only had about 300 days left. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I already did 3 years. But yeah, whatever. You know, they just want to put you out early. That's okay. They create this gigantic problem where every fucking veteran is a psychopath, retard. Every single one of them is not me. But the general perception of all of us is that, you know, I should have just played Super Mario. And I could have lost my family that, you know, I could have jobs, schmobs. My job is guarding the Nintendo because it kind of goes up in price every day. It's my job, guard the Nintendo. Man, why? Because I had 100 games, man. All these other kids had like no games, man. Yeah, I had people stealing my games at my house. I could always figure out which one it was and which one they wanted. I always got my game back. Dude stole my Earthbound, my Secret of Mana. Kevin. I go so hard on people over a video game when I have 100 of them and I see one missing for half a minute. Some kids back in the 80s, he tried to jack my Wizards and Warriors right when I got it too. He took it straight. His mother was my mom's best friend growing up. This kid was retarded, straight retarded. I grew up with so many retarded people. They just have like retarded enrollment where they're gonna be like, okay, well, we're gonna enroll this guy in to fill these classes. You know, we're 30 kids per class. We could take out 1, 2, or 3 of the gifted and send them. You know, it kind of it makes the other classes go by smoother. Other kids learned more when I wasn't in their class. And I graduated high school at 19. I was held back at 5. This is the ideal situation is that you get to play an extra year of high school to be a standout, yada, yada, yada. So I was always a year older than all the people I played with, but you know, everybody there's a lot of money in LA, and I was I was always the poorest guy on the team. Yeah. You know, typically, I couldn't afford a single beer in high school. You have to worry that, kids are drinking so much. No, I didn't have diddly dick I had $1.50 lunch money every day. And we had grilled cheese and milk, and I always spent my money in the cafeteria at school. I never saved it up for beer after school or shit. Nah, I could dig through the trash at school and eat all the rich kids' leftovers. Believe me, they had a lot. They don't like spit in their food either. I always collected aluminum cans from the trash, so I could get about 20 a day is a pound, and every 30 days you cash in, you get about $25, and that's enough to buy a fucking video game for the NES. So I used to buy games that way. At KB Toys, games were $19.99, and I had like the complete collection of all the KB 1999 games, which is still a nice selection of games, minus Mappy Land. I'm gonna wrap up this episode. Let me check my battery. 14% at 31 minutes past the hour. I'm so satisfied. I still have one cigarette. I don't want to go out again today. I got low key. I'm sitting on a can of this and a bag of potato chips around here. I think I'm gonna turn on my One Punch Man. Bend over and double check all the final comments. Let's see, moving a while. Let's go right there. I'm gonna open up One Punch Man and wrap up this episode. I have 2 One Punch Man games. I don't want to open the wrong one. Okay. I'll see you next time. On Monday. Tomorrow. Monday.